Good morning, meteorologist Bob here for you with today's tropical update for Sunday, September 2nd, 2012. Figure I'll shoot you out a little Labor Day weekend update. It's been a few days since I put out a update after going non-stop with Isaac. Took a little break here, so just back, just kind of updating you on the tropics. Nothing of any immediate threat to the United States, which is nice. We could use a little break after Isaac and Debbie and such. So right out there, we basically the closest one we're going to be watching the next week is going to be Leslie. She is out here. I'm going to close in on that in a minute here. Kirk is going out to sea, way gone. Another little disturbance out here. Even if this does, this is going to, I think this is our newest Invest 99L. If this does develop, it's kind of going to go do a little west, northwest, and then of course out to sea like this, so not a threat there. So let's kind of close in on Leslie here this morning. Max of sustained winds, supposedly, by the National Hurricane Center is 70. When you see this on the satellite, you're going to be, is this really 70? Because believe me, it's probably not. I actually looked at this morning and I saw 70. Actually, I looked at the satellite, looked at it, and then I saw the advisory. It said 70. I almost fell over, but anyway, they're saying 70. More than likely not. Should be. It's probably much lower than 70. Northwest at 15, and this is as of 5 a.m. So here we go. And what's going to happen with Leslie, and we're going to be watching this one for the next week because it's going to be a slow mover eventually. The next few days, it's going to kind of move up here and then begin to start slowing down. It's going to move off to the northwest and then start moving northwest and then kind of slow down here towards the beginning of the week. As it's losing its influence here, we have a bit of a weakness here, which I'll show you to the north. It's going to move towards that weakness, and then steering currents are going to break down, and it's going to be basically a stall out here for most of the week south of Bermuda. Kind of good news for the surfers here across the East Coast. They've been wanting some surf, and here you go. Surf will begin to build here across the southeast Florida. Wax them surfboards up come Tuesday through Wednesday. Wednesday we could be seeing 4 to 7 footers out here across the east coast of Florida. So start getting it going, and of course these will build across the mid-Atlantic and then all along the east coast this week with Leslie. So good news for the surfers. Bermuda, you're going to have to watch this one. This is going to be one of those where we're going to watch two things. It's not a threat to the United States, so we're going to watch two things. How close does it get to Bermuda? And then how close does it get to, and here we go. Everybody loves when I do the Canadian Maritimes because I get them mixed up. And then how close does it get to Nova Scotia and Newfoundland up in Canada? So that's going to be the two keys here to watch with this system. And also another key is, will this come back and then become a hurricane as it gets closer to Bermuda? It's going to get kind of sheared here the next few days. And then as it slows down and then as it works its way slowly towards Bermuda by the end of next week, there may be an opportunity for some re-strengthening of Leslie. And we'll have to see how that works out. So Bermuda, be on guard. Again, this is going to slowly creep towards your area. Again, this isn't until next weekend, so we have a whole week to watch this. And then from there on forward, we'll have to watch to see how close it comes to Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. All right, so that's how we're looking at Leslie. Not a threat to the United States. It's not going to stall here and make a comeback. We're going to have pretty much general troughing here across the East Coast, so this cannot move west. So no worries there. Visible satellite. This is going to jump a little bit, and actually I'm going to stop it once it gets to the end here. So let's just stop it there. Now let's just look at this. Does this look like a 70-mile-per-hour system to you? Basically, the low-level center has been pretty much exposed since yesterday. Tried to make a little comeback late yesterday, early last night, but I mean, in reality, this is probably more like, 50 to 60 probably. So anyway, now we're only going by estimates here out here. We don't have a plane flying into this, but just looking at this, we still have our exposed low-level center. And as this moves up this way the next couple days, northwest shear is consistently going to be hitting this system. So don't expect Leslie to do much better in the next couple days. Looking at the overall pattern here, kind of have a high pressure system right here. We have a tut feature right here, then a high pressure right here. And on the back side of this high here, it's kind of flowing down some northwest shear here. and that's what's hitting Leslie. Eventually, this tut's going to move west. This trough's going to lift out up here. So once it gets into this area here, just south of Bermuda, we could get into a better area for development and lower shear here by the end of next week into next weekend. So we're going to watch for that. Here's that other feature way out here that we're watching, Invest 99L. Again, not going to be a threat to anybody out there. Kirk is way off the screen here. Again, shear, you can see high pressure just to the west of Leslie, so it's not over Leslie. So what's happening is it's bringing this northwest shear right here. And then we're going to watch to see as this trough lifts out, this tut moves west. It could get into a better environment south of Bermuda. And just to show you what the steering currents are, just in case everybody thinks this might head to the United States, here's that weakness. There goes Kirk. Kirk hit the weakness and then now is caught up in the westerlies. Weakness isn't here. This is going to lift out a bit in the next few days. So that's going to bring Leslie up into this area where nowhere to really to go for a few days until the next trough, which is way up here in Canada, finally comes down. And we're going to kind of have this continuous trough here. So one here, trough, which Leslie can't catch it to really swing it out to sea. And then we're going to wait for the next one up here to catch it and finally swing it again close to Bermuda, over Bermuda, west of Bermuda, and then eventually does it hit Nova Scotia, Newfoundland? How close does it come to our Canadian friends? Models, here we go. And as you can see, coming up, the big slowdown. You see the cluster here, and then eventually here it comes. And then how close does it get to Bermuda? Pretty much Bermuda's pretty much centered on this. We've seen the models probably slide just a slight bit west in the last few days, getting closer to Bermuda, over Bermuda, or just west of Bermuda. And now they're starting to get closer to Canada here. So we'll have to watch again for that. And that really looks like that's going to be pretty much the flow here. Don't see really that changing much. Looking at the GFS model, this is this morning's run, 6Z. We'll bring this back into motion here. So here's Leslie coming on up the next few days. We'll watch it. Gets close to Bermuda. Here comes the stall this week. Kind of sits out here, sits out here, sits out here. Now it's waiting for this next trough to come off the east coast. All right, here it comes. Gets it pretty close to Bermuda and finally gets caught up here. And then how close does it get to Canada? That's what we're going to be watching. So that's what the GFS has. Euro is about the same. Euro ensembles are just a tiny bit farther west, more like in this line here. All right, so that's what we got going on. Anything off the coast of Africa? Really not much. As you remember what I said a few weeks ago, that we were going to really heat up a lot. Last 2 weeks of August, especially the last week of August, starting on about the 21st, I said, 20th, into the first week of September. Then after that, we might have another lull again. Looks like we're going to be in that little bit of lull. Again, we're still fighting a lot of dry air out here, which we've seen. Not really much coming off the coast of Africa right now. We might have to watch this wave in the next few days, but I don't really see much out there right now. So we might have a little bit of lull here for the next week or so. And really correlating that with the MJO, you could see not much going on now in our area. Pretty much neutral to negative here. As you can see, really not much upward motion going on in the next few weeks. I would really watch, more than likely, in the next few weeks, we might want to watch, let me see if I get a satellite view up here. Probably going to want to watch the Gulf of Mexico and here, some kind of homegrown activity. We're going to be getting a lot of fronts starting to come down across the Gulf, and it's almost that time of the year again. Might get into a little bit of an early fall pattern here coming up. So we're going to have to watch some homegrown activity here in the next few weeks. All right? That's it for today. Hope everybody has a good Labor Day weekend, and we'll see you all next time.